And hello, everybody, and welcome to 2023. This is our first edition of Trippy Tuesday for the 2023 year. So welcome. This is the office version of Trippy Tuesday because we can't make it home in time to get this going. So right to the stuff, what we have for you today. It's been a while. And, I guess someone said that it's the 40th anniversary of Phish this year. Wow, that's crazy. Can you imagine 40 years? Well, I've been on this bus for 30 years, as a lot of my friends have, since 1993. So, we're hoping we're going to go into this year with a bang. And what I'd like to do for these next few shows is kind of take a visit on some of the shows that meant a lot to me over the 30 years and kind of do a little showcase of some shows that I've been to and that has made me do what I do today after 40 years because, it's almost as fun. It's pretty fun, but it used to be really fun. It's pretty fun. But, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the summer of 1995, just because I've already seen Phish a few times before this, but I have a nice little run here, starting with a little mini tour that I did, 18 years old here at the time. First show here that many people may or may not know is from June 20th, 1995. This is at the Blossom Music Center in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. This show is available at Live Phish. They decided not too long ago, maybe 10 years or so, that this was a show worthy of the Live Phish rendition. So, little backstory on the show before we get into the set list here. 1995, Phish is now starting, as in 94, really to hit these big sheds, as they call these big outdoor venues. Blossom, this was, I think, the second time they were there. They were there once with Santana opening as a headline, doing their thing. But so here we are, jumping on board, came down, had about a 3-hour drive to the show, and remember this day like yesterday. This was a hot, sticky summer day. Like we always used to do, drove down without tickets, thought it was no big deal, and it wasn't. We all pretty much got tickets. I think one of our friends did not, and they somehow found their way inside the show by taking the back door in. Which when you have the love, you got to do what you got to do. And if that's how you have to get in, I'm all for that. So we have this hot, sticky day, and, really pumped up. There's no spring tour this year, so these are the first shows that really came out. And, just remember distinctly that, the air, like I said, was thick. There's just that buzz, in the air. You're young, you're seeing Phish, for maybe the 7th or 8th time for me at this time, and just that excitement. So, the show just, you'll hear this on the recordings, it still crackles with this energy. I've heard some other shows from this tour, attended some, and there's just something in the air about this show. There was a really good energy. Maybe it's the people, maybe it was just what was going on. So, just running through the set list here, again, what I typically do here is, go through the set list and encourage everybody to listen to the whole show if that's your thing, if that's what you guys want to check out, that's cool. But I like to just kind of, hand select a couple of the highlights that, that I remember and that I thought really stood out for this show. So, before just really jumping into that, just remember this, 1995, let's see here. I mean, I guess there's really no parking lot scene. There's really not a shakedown. Like it's just starting a little bit. I don't remember anything other than pulling the car up and kind of going to the show. I mean, there's a few people hanging out. I'm sure there was some vending here and there, but remember, Jerry's Still Alive here. Grateful Dead tour was still full swing, and that's where a lot of people were. trying to remember here, just kind of digression, when like vending really kicked in and when I remember seeing things. I mean, 97, obviously, for sure. Maybe 96, maybe a little in 95. Yeah, I guess some in 95, more towards Sugarbush, which we'll talk about later, and Faced in Vermont for the tour closer. But anyway, back to what we have here. We're not going to go through each set list each song, but I guess second song in after a really hot llama opener was the song Spock's Brain, which has only been played a few times. This was a show that was, this is a song that was actually named by the fans. I believe it was named by the fans in Lowell, Massachusetts, which was, maybe that was the only spring show. When was that Lowell show? There was a Lowell show. I don't know. I can't remember when that Lowell show was, but that tape is hot. If you guys haven't checked out the show from Lowell, Mass, that's where they broke out all of the 1995 songs, and I'm pretty sure that the audience named that song. But fun song, just because I think it's very well played. Would love to see that again. It's a very rare song, very weird song, but it's really cool. Hitting a couple other things here. That's there's a pretty solid foam in here. Bathtub Gin's not too bad. I'm actually going to hit on an If I Could. Just because, this is a song that probably bring a lot of people down, but this is a good one to check out. This just is a great position in the song set list. That's always just great how they just, you're going a million miles an hour and then it just bringing you to a stop, And this is the one of those versions where it's, it's quiet. It's a very long, slow building lead to the final jam. Trey does an excellent job just holding out on that final note until it gets to the very end. Very well played. I would check that out. The rest of the set still, not too bad. They end with a split open and melt, which, if you can kind of sense what's kind of happening, the end of this gets pretty dark, pretty out there. And I think, closing the first set and getting into the second set, you're going to see that theme really carries on. So I'm really bringing everybody to the show here today because of this second set. This second set is a point in my life I could close my eyes and go back to today because of this certain sequence that happened in the Mike song Contacts, Weak Upon Groove. I mean, this was just an amazing sequence. I'll preface that with this chalk dust. There is a chalk dust that starts to go way out there. And, Trey starts using the siren, starts to get like, it's to me in the 1985, this is the beginning of kind of, I don't want to say ambient jam because that's terrible of what's happening now with an ambient jam, but more of breaking away from the song structure. Remember, early 90s was Phish just, it was machine gun, it was jamming all the time, it was you can't catch your breath, you're just moving. But this is a time where 95 it's really psychedelic. This chalk dust starts to shows these hints. Trey throws out this like looping siren. And like you're just kind of like, whoa, what's it just is weird, like to get caught by that, right? So check out that, and then again the highlight here, and I'll go into some detail because it is fantastic. This Mike song, Contact, Weak Upon. So this Mike song, 20-minute Mike song, which goes into a psychedelic space, which I still can't. I listen to this again often. I come back to this, but again back to what I said. This is some of the first times where Phish will break from that traditional song structure and just kind of go into, feedback and looping. And I remember I somehow separated myself from all my friends, and I'm standing next to what I thought, at 18 years old was an older head. He's like in his 20s or something like that. And, we used to carry these set list books, we used to write down our notes and like, oh yeah, because there's no internet, we didn't know, we would just have set list books, And I'm like, have a set list book, and just kind of standing there, and like Phish is just, they're gone, they're just way gone, and it's going, okay, for a couple minutes, but it's like going on, and it's just this longer, dissonant, like creepy, evil, like sirens and feedback, and just way out there stuff. And I'm like, hey man, like, what do you label this? Like, what do you gonna? I don't even know what do I even call this? He's like, I think this is like space, man. Like the Grateful Dead, like this is space. I'm like, whoa, dude, Phish is doing space now. Second set, kind of drum space. I'm like, wow, man. So like, I wrote down space. Like, what do you do? Like, this was just that far out there, So you feel this, of course, again, this tension release. You get scared to hell. You get Fishman that's coming out of nowhere, like, kind of making this like very, haunted, like, laughing in the background. It's everything that's just going to set you off, right? You're just going to go out into the field and never come back. And as Phish does, it just comes back to the ground. You're out there, you come back to the the warm green pasture, and it's Page. Page just brings you in, just a subtle piano solo, and kind of brings things back to ground. I mean, everything's crazy, it's wild, and then you just land into Contact, and I just remember that, like, whoa, you're going from a space of just pure chaos, can't make sense of anything, and then you land on this very, silly, simple tune, Contact, right? And that just sets you right, and you just kind of get back, and then we get right into that Weekapaw groove, and this is one. There's so many good ones. I love this one for so many reasons, just from, I think, just a pure contrast from going from the Crazy Mike song to the Contact, which brings you to reality, just kind of back into more of the psychedelic rock and roll. I mean, Trey just, he rips pretty good. It's not his best, all out ripping experience, but I think just his playing and his fills, just in the sense of, playing the right notes, right time, where it comes to where the jam is going. And I think really the champion here is not only Trey and some of his effects, but it's Fishman. Like, listen to the end of the Weekapaw, and Fishman he is on a different planet. I don't know where he is, but he has got this drum, and he's got a snare set to like a tom, so it's not really like snare sound like, and it's just this pop, you just keep the pop. And like, you can see Trey's starting to wind down, but Fishman he's just going. Like, he will not stop this jam at all. Like, he's just hitting it. And it's funny, so this then goes into Hold Your Head Up, and it's almost like they did that on purpose, I feel like, because you can hear them starting to go into it, and Fishman just won't give it up. I mean, he won't give up that beat. He just keeps going. So you can see they're dialed in hard. This sequence here, I mean, all this talking and story, if it leads you right to just this, I would check out this Mike song, Contact Weekapaw, because it is worth the price of admission. Just to round out that set, we get a Cracklin' Rosie, which is fun, and a Highway to Hell, which I don't know where the hell that came from, as people may or may not know from the show. This is where some fan somehow got up on the wooden structure, and I don't know how he got up there, but he made it to the top of this, kind of low-pitched rising, and he's just like waving up there highway. And I was like, whoa, dude, how are you even up there? Like things that happened back then with security, So I'll just close this review with the final must-check of this show is the encore of Slave to the Traffic Light. Now, this song is probably one of my top 5 Phish songs, just because of this exact reason. I mean, this gets you, you go through your trip, you go through your whole day, you go through ups and downs, and you're left with Slave, which is just always, to me, a bookend of a show. It's slow, it's gentle, but this one is absolutely fantastic. I hold several Slaves to this candle, and to many other Slaves that I've heard. There's another one from '94 that I'm very particular to from a UB show, but check that out. Just a great way to finish a show. So, again, what we have here, again, in a recap, is this is the Blossom Music Center. This is 6/20/95. Final show notes, kind of got out late, hit the road, and, slept about a couple hours from the venue, and, I'd say now a stranger, but a random person's yard, got up and drove back up to New York, and there's a day off, and the next show was a very famous show, which we'll profile next time we do this on the Finger Lakes. So we're going right from Blossom, just south of Cleveland here, up to the Finger Lakes in New York, and a little foreshadowing on that. That's where we have the 45-minute tweezer, or fleazer as they say, which I actually just listened to the other night, which brought me full circle of why I'm doing 95. So we're going to bring you this Blossom show here now, and we're going to go into that Canandaigua show, and we're probably going to wrap up with the last 2 shows of the tour up in Fayston, Vermont, which was essentially a free show and one of the best shows and show experiences I've ever been to. So without further ado, check the link below and enjoy Blossom. This was a riot. So till next time, guys. Peace out. See you.